Record. Okay, welcome. Glad to have you all here. So Ashlyn will go ahead and take roll call as we go. The minutes are not quite finished, so we'll push that to next week. So we'll start with open forum. Does anybody have anything for open forum? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move right along to speaker's podium. Jerry is not here, but we have Bonnie Davis and Andy Krause here to talk to us about recycling and give an update about that area. So I'll go and welcome them up. Y'all can give a round of applause.
Thank you.
I'm Bonnie Davis. I'm the energy manager for facilities management on campus. And I know a few of you. I've met with the sustainability committee. I believe that's the title of the committee recently, to talk about recycling and initiatives. And really, I just want to give you guys an update. So we launched recycling in February. Have you guys seen the blue bins on campus in the common areas? Are you guys using the blue bins in the common areas? Yeah, awesome. Right now, we are working on bins being placed in all of housing. So has anybody seen a blue 10-gallon bin in their room? Okay, awesome. When did you guys get that bin? Okay, so Katie Hernandez is distributing those, and they should all be delivered pretty soon. And what that means for you guys is there's going to be 2 days a week that you can go to one of our recycling dumpsters on campus and put your recycling in that dumpster. And I believe it's going to be on Mondays and Thursdays. We have 2 8-yard recycling dumpsters on campus. One is near the baseball field, and then one is just right next door by the parking garage. And you can just put your recycling in that bin during 1 to 4. And I think Katie has set it up where at first you're going to start off baby steps. I think recycling plastic at first, and then if that is successful, she'll open it up to other things that we recycle: cardboard, cans, paper. So yeah, that's what we have going on. Does anybody have questions about it? Okay. So you know where facilities is in the fine arts complex? Right across the street, it's kind of hidden. There's a drive that runs beside the baseball field, and there's a big dumpster, which you don't want to put it in the dumpster. It's a 35-yard dumpster, and then the recycling bin is right beside it. Yeah. And I believe Katie sent out information that has a map attached to it that shows where those locations are, but I'll double check with her on that. Yeah, you're welcome. Anybody else?
Well, and we're really excited. Like, recycling program is something we wanted to do for a number of years. So we're very happy to get it up and running. We're happy to be expanding in residents in housing. So please reach out to Bonnie if you guys have any questions, concerns, ideas on how we can make it better. She's going to be the primary point of contact and the champion for this effort on this campus. So looking forward to it.
And my email address is bdavis@uttyler.edu. You can send me an email, give me a call, and I'm happy to answer any questions and work with you guys on this. It's going really well. We had a few kinks at the beginning, but those are starting to smooth out. And I think that having the recycling available to you guys is one of the most important pieces of the recycling on campus. So I'm looking forward to it.
And we'll expand as this rolls out. We're taking baby steps because we have to make sure this is what fits for our campus, for the residence halls and everything along those lines. So as this grows, if you guys have suggestions, please let us know. We want to make this successful, just like all of you. So let's work towards that. And if you guys have any ideas, just let us know. And by the way, I forgot to mention, I'm Andy. I know that may have been covered somewhere in there, but anyways, that's all I have.
Thank you. Oh, yes. What do you think about that, Andy? Okay, let me tell you, I'll tell you this. I've had staff ask that question, if they could bring things from home and put it in the dumpsters, and we have not let them do that. So it's probably not okay for me to say that
Good
you
answer.
guys can do that. But I recycle. I live outside of the city limits. I live in White House, and I recycle everything and I take it downtown to the recycle center on Saturdays. I don't even put my own recycling in the recycle dumpsters, but maybe we can work something out in the future. We did have 3 recycle dumpsters and we were only utilizing 2 of them. So we had one taken off campus. I don't know, maybe we bring the other one back on. There's some things we can talk about and see.
Yes, and given that this is a university service on campus for on-campus residents and everything like that, we're not going to start opening it up to off-campus or the public. I know the students living off campus are not the public. I get that, but we don't want to cross that bridge at this time. We don't have the capacity and things along those lines.
But you know, if you have like a bag of bottles or something really small, then I'd be, you know.
I think we're good right now.
I'm just kidding.
Any other questions? Fantastic. You guys are easy crowd.
Thank you.
This is an initiative that SGA has really tried to support, and especially now that we've made the Environmental Sustainability Committee an official standing committee. That's one of the things that they're tasked with, is working with Bonnie. She's kind of taken on the role of sort of an advisor for that committee, which is great. And we really want to make sure this is something that we work towards. So once we get that information with the map and everything, if you'll send that to me, I'd love to get that posted on our social media as well. Sweet, thank you. Thank you. Okay, moving right along. Yeah, I'm going to put it back up. Better. Can't believe you called me the wrong name. Okay, moving along to officer reports, I will go first. So last week, Ashlyn and I made our visit out to the Health Science Center campus. That was great. We got a tour of the facility and got started on planning a small event to host this semester to start help the student success coordinator, Ashton Smith, out there get started with interacting with the students. So that's really exciting. This week, Ashlyn and I are going back to Austin for UT-SAC a second time. So 10-hour car rides in 2 days. That's going to be, we really have. It's been a learning experience for sure. So y'all be thinking about us. For anybody traveling this week during the break, definitely be safe. Moving along.
All right, as you guys know, we are getting really close to the end of my time in SGA. And so my last big thing is going to be finals week bags. Want that to be a really good, big thing. The supplies for that were ordered on Monday. So hopefully they're in before the end of this week. If they're not, we are going to spend the week after Thanksgiving putting them together. However, if you could shoot me a text if you're going to be on campus, staying on campus, and you would like to put together some finals week bags, I can put together like a little kit for you to put them together in your apartment. But I am going to please request that we do that only if you're on campus. I don't want them traveling everywhere. That just doesn't feel like a good idea. Or if you'd like to come hang out with me and we can put finals week bags together.
Have we already set up tables for the finals week to get that done?
Yes, I
Past
did
time?
put them in Astra.
Wait, what times?
Variety. I'll
Okay.
send them out via email. And that's also going to be another thing, is that we are going to need people to volunteer to be there.
Just pass them out.
Yeah.
Smile at people.
Be nice, hang out with people. So yeah.
Okay, we went to the Health Science Center and that was really fun. I really like Ashton. She's awesome. Josh, can
honey
you make
fried
her
chicken
come?
was pretty good
he
too.
left. I was gonna ask him to come over here more because I like her. I put the Constitution on the website. I'm making Casey take a lot of pictures this weekend. I'm very excited about that. And
Ashlyn is not making Casey take pictures this weekend.
You can take pictures of me then.
I'll take
You can be
pictures
the
of Ashlyn. It's okay.
photographer. That's pretty much it.
Or
So quick update about the golf project.
golf
I think Josh sent me like official quote. I think it was about 12,000 plus an extra 300. I think it's likely to happen the spring of next year.
Mhm.
So just to let you guys know, that project is getting underway to go. Also, on the good side, me and Josh talked last Thursday, and we said we're kind of under budget, so we might have more money to spend going into next year. So me and Josh plan is to let everything settle, let all the receipts, the invoices come in at the end of this year, because everybody gonna be on
Mhm.
break, so no more money gonna be spent, and then next year we'll officially assess the situation and see how much money we actually have to spend.
Yeah, that sounds really good. Yeah, they have to get a new quote because it's been since the summer. So the new quote was higher because y'all know material prices have been going up. So SGA is still going to pay the original approved amount of, I think it was 12,400, and then student engagement will absorb the additional $800. So
Perfect.
that's what's up with that. Okay, Chief of Staff Smith.
Yesterday I met with rules. We discussed a lot of ideas that we'll be discussing later. And this week I am basically going to be working to make those ideas come true if people end up liking them. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yep. Events committee. Events committee. I
right.
remembered we have separate committee reports this time.
So our events committee activity today was to attend the housing town hall meeting. And that was interesting. That recording will be available at some point. I'm going to get some clarification on where exactly that's going to be available, but it was recorded.
Good.
And our follow-up action for that, I know specifically everybody in here was concerned about the pet thing. Unfortunately, Scott Hendershot's directive was if you were concerned about your pet to talk to him individually. So we did not get an answer on that. Even though we were told, come to the town hall, we'll answer the question. So the housing pet question was not answered. We did also ask about the basketball court, and Director Hendershot ever so kindly informed everyone that that was an SGA project to put the basketball court out, which is correct. We did pay for the supplies. That was a senator project from a few years ago. However, we did not choose the location of that. And now housing is asking us to solve that problem.
Apparently SGA is coming up with a solution. So SGA, let's
Do we
come
have
up
a
with
solution?
It shouldn't really cost anything to move it.
No, those orange pieces already belonged to the university.
Yeah.
So we did not purchase those. The only things that we purchased were the basketball nets themselves, which I do not believe are permanently installed in any way. I think they're just driveway basketball hoops.
They dug some concrete out.
Oh. Then this is going to be significantly more complicated than I thought it was.
Consider some solutions, SGA.
The primary
Both.
concern with the basketball court is that the location is not convenient for most of campus because it's in a gated residential community that majority of campus does not live in. The other concern is specifically for the residents of that community is that it blocks off, I believe, 15 parking spaces and access to one of the buildings. So you have to drive around.
You can't get to building 1 or 2 without going
that's
all
right.
the way down to 7 and 8.
So SGA, apparently we're coming up with a solution. If anybody has a solution, but I'm going to set up
thought saving for new business.
Yeah. And I'm going to set up a meeting with Director Hendershot to discuss that. Beyond that, there were no questions asked that we did not also ask in this meeting last week.
Great. Communications.
We did not meet this week. I was trying to finish the minutes and I had to go home or whatever. But I love that word. I don't Okay, would communications also be the website?
Everything you do.
Everything I do a lot. I feel like I do. I don't know. I want to start getting the minutes on there at some point. I need to figure out they're in a PDF file and that doesn't go on the website. It's just some weird thing, and I got to figure that out and talk to Josh about it. But I got the Constitution up there, and I'm pretty sure I have everybody's name on there except Macy's. I
Yeah.
did not have Macy, but that's
She's-
it.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll have a couple more to add in the next couple
Okay.
weeks, but it does
Yay.
look really good. I was looking at it earlier.
Okay.
SGAC.
We approved about 4 organizations this week. One was AISC. I think this group is in Houston. It's the Steel Bridge Competition Group. We also approved MSA, the American Society of Chemicals organization, also a joint group, the American Society of Civil Engineers and Institute of Transportation Engineers. They're having a really, really awesome event. I think December the 6th, the week we come back. If you guys, it's out in Tyler. If you guys can join that event, I would if I was you. It was an awesome event the guys are hosting. Go out and go see what engineering is all about.
Sure. Will you send the information in the group me? Or
Sure,
email it to
I
me,
will.
whichever.
Okay, I will.
Thanks. Okay. Moving on to rules.
Like I said, we met yesterday, discussed ideas. Talk about them later.
Sweet. ESC.
Basically yesterday we just went over a tentative structure for the clothing drive that's happening next April. I have to email some people to get some other minor details fleshed out, and then I want to talk about it in front of all of y'all to get y'all's inputs.
Yeah.
Maybe the week after we come back. I don't know yet.
Sure. We have one meeting left after tonight, November 30th. So I know it's crazy. For this semester, we'll meet in the spring. Pinky promise. One thing for environmental sustainability, those of you in that committee, David's graduating. So if any of you are interested in stepping up to chair that committee for the spring, let David know. Cool. All right, great. Or if you're not in that committee, but you think you would like to join it and chair it, we can look at that. Okay. And then lastly, GSA. Haven't really done anything with that. As I mentioned last time, there are some students looking at making it a registered organization again. So I'm just trying to help them with that. And that's part of the reason why we're helping Ashton plan an event on the health science at our campus. So it's all good. Okay, student voice reports, College of Engineering. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, okay. My bad. We'll start down here. Student body at large. We have a lot of y'all, so.
I haven't heard too much. I've asked around, but mainly just finals coming up and a lot of studying going on. So
same thing. I know that in we've talked about like ATO, like the fraternity just getting involved with SGA. Like I don't know in what capacity, but they said they'd be willing to do stuff. So yeah.
You tell me.
I've heard some concerns about students saying that vending machines should take more than just dining dollars, and also that they should be restocked more frequently. So that's pretty much it. I've heard some people saying that. So, or it might be they should take dining dollars.
They should take dining dollars.
They should take dining dollars. Sorry. Yeah. But that's, and they should be restocked more frequently because they're always empty, or the ones I use. So that's just what I've heard.
Yeah. Hey, order, please. Thank you. Who's next? Student body at large. Anybody else? Holly?
There's some CAP students that are having difficulties with their advisors. But other than that, I haven't heard anything. And also, Have you guys ever thought about having a not advisor, senator on SGA?
Mm,
So it has been brought up, yes. However, our fearless advisor Neves has shot it down. Mostly because we have freshman seats and CAP students are inherently freshmen. And a lot of our freshman senators do tend to be CAP students anyways. And there's nothing prohibiting CAP students from being just a student body at large senator. And so the issue with that has been just there doesn't seem to be a need for it since there is already representation of that population, much as we don't have seats for each sorority and fraternity because there is already representation. Thanks, ATO. But that's been the general consensus is that there's already a way for them to be represented. So there doesn't need to be a specific seat when we already struggle to fill the seats that we have. So,
Okay, that makes sense.
we tend to stay away from segmenting the population too far down because that would get really complex. We, as at present, have 46 available seats. And to give you guys an idea of how other UT system schools do it, the biggest one that I can think of is like 25. They do a senator per 1,000 students. So we have the largest senate in the UT system by far. Just something to consider. Okay, anyone else for student body at large? All right, great. Houston Engineering Center. That's all you, Adalia. Adalia, can you hear me? Okay. We'll move along we'll move along while we're waiting. Victory Village. That would be Bev. She's not here. And then Ornelas Hall. Sure.
I don't really have much. They did room checks, but they did not inform us that they were doing room checks this week, which is annoying, but I was home. I could be like, sorry, Mom," but like we kind of knew they were happening, but they usually inform us and they did not.
So no email was sent out?
I checked like
Mm.
3 different times. They may have said something in one of the closing meetings, but no, they're supposed to send us an email, like everybody an email the week before. And they have it every other residence hall I've lived in. And I guess they just forgot. And it
Interesting.
did not get time. Which we still passed because we were all home and like hello.
Yeah. Okay.
But
let's do
other
a
than
little
that,
digging and find out if they're required to do that.
I just know they always have, and it was weird that they didn't.
Okay. Well, somebody let me know if they're actually required to. Send me some proof and we'll look at it. Okay. And then Val requested to make a report for nursing briefly. Speaking of which, if there's ever a week that you have something you need to say, you're welcome to. You don't have to only go on weeks that your constituency comes up. Go ahead, Val.
Okay, so Justin and I met with the dean at 4:00 today. She wanted to follow up with some things that we talked about last time. Super productive. The nursing program just sent an email saying that you have to get vaccinated in order to be doing clinicals. Hospital thing, not the school thing, so don't worry if you were concerned about that. But there has been a lot of people trying to get exemptions from that. So we wanted to create a kind of like a module on Canvas for nursing students, being like hey, this is what the COVID vaccine is. This is why we're requiring it. All of that stuff, which we should have already learned in our classes, but that's a whole different issue. So we talked with her about that. We found out that there is an entire website dedicated to contacting your nursing advisor, which I didn't know that. Students don't know that. So that was great that they were like, why isn't anyone using it? We just don't know about it. So we got a lot of things done. She wants to meet up again next month. So I'll have more for y'all about the COVID stuff next month. So yeah,
That's really good. Sounds like she's very responsive.
it's EAB, or it's like
Do you have something to report? Okay, that's fine.
Not as specifically a CAS report, but it's a poli-sci class, so kind of. And one of these auditoriums that's like underneath. Oh, it's Stewart Hall. One of the Stewart Halls.
127.
Wi-Fi don't work. It's like really spotty. Like it's in and out. Lopez seems to have more problems than we do, but it does happen. So.
What's up, Justin?
Adding on to what Valerie said, I think I believe it's the EAB website. I think it's available to any student who's a UT Tyler student to have an appointment with their advisor. Just a heads up, like just a big information.
Yeah, some of them, like I know College of Business and College of Arts and Sciences, both of their advising pages link to it to set up an appointment. But I know that nursing has been sort of behind the curve on that. So hopefully we can help y'all get the info out to students. David, on that, yes, it is an issue. Let me find out for you who to talk to. Anybody else? Adalia, did you want to go real quick? Okay. We'll move right along. Okay, moving on to old business. I would like to entertain a motion to discuss the diversity course. Okay, motion by VP Stavinoff, seconded by Brandon. Okay, so hopefully you guys had a chance to peruse the diversity course. For the sake of my own sanity, I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand if you did it, because I know the results would hurt my heart. However, I did the entire thing. It definitely took longer than the 40 minutes it said it would. So that's definitely a consideration. Overall, I felt the content was pretty appropriate and bite-sized chunks. So that's nice. So I just wanted to hear what y'all think about it. The question on the table from administration is, do we think that it should be required in any form for everyone, for freshmen, etc.? So
I looked through it as well. I didn't see anything to raise alarm. Like I said earlier when we started talking about this, I had done diversity training, which was not good at all for many reasons, and I didn't see any of those red flags. And personally, I think it should be required for everyone at like yearly.
okay.
Do we know how many of the other systems require it? Or do any of them require it?
Some do. Definitely UT Austin requires it. I'd have to look at that Google Drive document to see for sure who all requires it, but it's a system-wide conversation right now about whether to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't see any problems with it. I actually really like how the course is set up, that it has good stop and start points. So you don't necessarily have to sit down and take it. That's one of my complaints about the Title IX one, is that there's no good way if you have to stop. There's no good point to stop. However, I don't think that we should require it every year, just because I feel like that's going to be a barrier to a lot of people doing the registration. And I don't like to be a hassle for anything like that. However, I think if we do it next year, it should be required for everyone. And then it's only required for freshmen, similar to the Title IX training.
Yeah, alcohol, EDU, and the Title IX are both required for freshmen only.
Yeah. And I think that's a perfectly acceptable system. But if we do it for the first year, required of everybody, just to make sure they take it. And then beyond that point, freshmen only.
Anyone else have thoughts, questions?
I think the training is extremely beneficial. I know for just most of the organizations here on campus, you require you to go through some kind of training just like this. So I don't think having any harm or there's going to be any harm in place if you just initiate for freshmen only. And the system that Jennifer suggested, everybody does it at once and then make it a freshman only course.
Okay, yeah.
Since some organizations are do require it, maybe we could look at, if they do this course their freshman year, that they don't have to take it later on with those specific ones.
So currently, do organizations require you to take it every year?
Oh, that's what Adon said. Yeah.
All three of them?
Mhm.
Yep. I can't make that call. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Anyone else? No. What I'm looking for here is I'd like to make a recommendation to ONA as to what we think would be the appropriate course of action, because she's asking from her standpoint what we think as students about it. So that's why we got access to it, which you can ask for in general. Currently, it's available to all students, but you have to ask for it, like what I did. Justin, do you have a new thought, or is your hand still just raised?
Oh, let me unraise it.
Okay, just checking. Okay, so what I would like to do is to make a recommendation. So we would motion to vote, and then you would say what you'd like to recommend, and then we'll vote yes, no, whatever, and I'll send an email down. Majority, yeah, only half. So that's the course of action. However y'all want to proceed. Will you take the mic over there, please? Sharing is caring, friends.
Motion to vote to recommend that we do require the diversity training for the student body.
Not specific enough.
Okay.
You need to, if you're going for what you said earlier.
Okay.
I entertain a motion to recommend that the course be required for everyone the first year and for freshmen only every subsequent year.
Carrie said motion.
All right, great. Adon seconded. So all in favor, please raise your hand or do a thumbs up emoji. Landry, will you count? Hold your hands up. Get that arm workout in. Okay, and then you can lower your hands. Any opposed, please raise your hand or do a different emoji. And any abstentions. Okay, great. Now this is just a recommendation. So I'll send it on to ONA via email and then we'll go from there. Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion to close discussion on this topic. Okay. Adon motion, Robert seconded. You really need to chill. Does anyone have anything else to add to old business? Okay, moving on to new business. Let me invite Chief of Staff Smith to the front. Bring the mic with you. I'd like to entertain a motion to discuss the Constitution. Okay.
I appreciate you.
So this is just a sort of a theoretical discussion. We're not putting this to a vote tonight, at least. And so we just want to get y'all's ideas on things that could potentially be better in the Constitution. And Chief of Staff Smith has created this handy PowerPoint of some ideas that we've talked about.
Yeah.
And Rules Committee.
Yeah. So yeah, like Casey said, these are just brief ideas that we've talked about in Rules Committee. Obviously, if there's any other ideas that anybody else has, please feel free to recommend or raise your hand, or if you have questions about anything, feel free. But so the first thing that I put up here was about judicial board, because right now judicial board does not meet at all. They I'm not really convinced that anybody in judicial board knows who else is in judicial board at this point. Okay, well, that's good at least. But so I would like there to be a little bit more interaction with judicial board, because effectively right now there's no interaction at all. And on top of that, there's no that I know of, there's no record of past decisions that they've made, or situations or controversies that has happened with SGA. And I would like there to be some sort of written record, either like a share file or even just a simple journal that has their written decisions down and their explanation of what to do on certain decisions. But so basically what I would like to do is establish a once a month meeting to keep them aware of what's going on in SGA. And then the chief of staff position, would basically help facilitate when they meet. So it's not anything overbearing on them already. It's just a once a month meeting. And then on top of that, I would like there to be some sort of requirement for a share file or journal where they have to write down their decisions. That way future judicial boards have some sort of track that they can follow, set some sort of precedent. And that's not anything new. That's what happens in normal case law. But additionally, I would also consider eliminating the requirement of having previous membership in SGA. This would help eliminate, in my opinion, this would help eliminate bias a little bit. If there is some, say that you were in SGA for a year and something happened, and the next year on judicial board, and you were somewhat directly involved in that, whatever happened previously. I mean, I think it would be hard to say that there isn't any bias in there. And I mean, like, obviously there's going to be situations where people just know each other, or, something like that. But I don't really think there needs to be a requirement for them to serve a year in SGA before being on the judicial board. And currently that requirement's just suspended because we suspended that article temporarily, but that'll go back into effect December 31st. And then also it just promotes participation amongst the student body to become more active in SGA. And then, so as we have all been familiar with recently, the referendum process. So we just had the athletic fee. And I don't know if y'all remembered, but the Senate gets to decide how long the voting period is for each and every individual referendum process. Now, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, I think that there should be a set amount of days for each and every referendum process, whatever it comes up, special election or whatever. Because that way, say if we had the athletic fee proposal and the HBC proposal, we voted to have that open for 5 days. Well, if we had somebody that wanted to add something to the disc golf course and we only let it open for 2 days to vote on, there might be some, the people trying to pass the golf disc referendum might be a little upset that they got shorter time for people to vote on that than when athletics did. And so this would just basically promote consistency. Say it again. So my personal opinion is that anywhere between 3 to 5 days with this past athletic fee, we got most of our votes in, and correct me if I'm wrong, we got most of our votes in within 3 days. I believe it was maybe 100 or 200 more in the 2 days after. But yeah, so we got most of our votes in within the first 3 days. So I would just
I know that this recent time, I think SGA kind of got thrown under the bus for kind of per se pushing it to an extent. So I think if we go along with where they're able to really educate us instead of SGA doing it solely, I believe it'll make us seem more like a non-biased student body.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry, Justin. I don't know where it cut out, but hopefully you've seen the slides at least and you got a general idea. But moving forward, same thing with the election code. So this is there's no set time frame for the ballots for just general assembly elections. Again, if one candidate or if one election year candidates get 5 days to be voted on, and then another they get 2 days to be voted on, there could be a little bit of controversy in that. And just to promote consistency, I would like possibly to establish a fixed time frame so that there's no hurt feelings. And then Senate seats. So this one's probably not as popular as an idea. I don't know what people think about it, and this is why I'm presenting it, is just to get y'all's opinions. Casey kind of alluded to it earlier. We have a lot of members that are allowed to be in SGA, and other institutions like UT Austin has 25. Currently, we don't have we only have 28 senators. I believe that's correct, and then 5 e-board members. But we have a total of 46 Senate seats that are open, and we total members we have right now is 33. And what I don't want to do is there's a bunch of different ways that we can think about this. In other words, so what I would suggest is that we would only have 2 senators per college instead of 3, because I don't think you necessarily need 3 senators to do the job for each college. I would like to keep the 10 student body at large positions though, so that we have a little bit of flux and being able to add members to SGA that join or that want to join later on in the year. Because if there's 2 or 3, let's just say there's 2 cast seats right now. If there's 2 cast seats that are currently have somebody on them, and that student's from cast, then you'll be able to move them to a student body at large position. And we have done that for some senators in here, and it's been nice. It's been a great addition. And then additionally, I don't think we need to have 2 senators per residence hall. I think 1 senator per residence hall would be just fine. And just to clarify, nobody would be losing their seat if you already have a seat right now. We have 2 different processes that we've talked about for being able to slowly move out the seats. We could either at this next election just only have the seats available that we specify on here, or we could have them phase it out. And I believe, how did you explain it, Robert?
Is a senior that is in one of the in one of the seats. Whenever we come up to the next election, since they're graduating, we can phase out that seat that they're a part of, so that not only whenever they graduate, that seat is no longer there, and nobody is essentially dissuaded from running for that seat ever again.
So nobody would just be getting kicked out of SGA. Okay, like that would be awful, and I would not recommend that at all. Yeah, rock, paper, scissors to whoever gets to keep their seats. This is another probably unpopular idea. I think it's an idea. So e-board, basically what this would be doing is it'd be taking away voting power from the e-board. Currently, e-board members get to vote as if they are Senate members. Now, in most institutions, that isn't the case, because that would, in some instances, now this never happens with this group because we're all a great group, there could be a conflict of interest because, like, if, you know, I can't think of a great example right now, but I mean, it's on the PowerPoint too there. So, you know, future e-boards could become too controlling. I don't think this e-board is too controlling at all. I would hope that y'all, yeah, we're not, right? Okay. But additionally, this would be a great check on the executive branch because typically you don't have an executive branch, the legislative branch, and the two be able to vote on each other's proposals or topics or whatever they want to put in place. So I'm not saying we have to do this. I don't think going one way or the other is a bad idea either way. It's an idea that I put out there, just something that I know other institutions do and could possibly protect against future problems. And then now I just open it up to questions.
So again, let me stand up. The purpose of this is just to bounce around some ideas. The point of the rules committee is to make sure our documents are always as up to date and representative as possible. So Chief of Staff Smith and his team have been working hard on that and just kind of considering what might be some beneficial changes. So this isn't intended to be put to a vote tonight. We just want to hear y'all's thoughts on things. And if you have other ideas that weren't presented, go crazy.
David.
This is
mic
going to get
around.
chaotic fast. We have 2 mics, so it's probably
Yeah, just stand by.
it's
fine.
it's probably easier for people to just come up to the front since we
Okay.
looks like we're going to
And
have a lot of questions.
I'm on rules committee too, so I was present. Okay.
Appreciate it.
Okay. So another idea we kind of briefly talked about is perhaps making it to where only I'm trying to put this.
So if
This
I-
might be unpopular too.
Yes, but so currently anybody can come and sit in on SGA meetings. I think that should be the case for students and for faculty members. People that don't go to the university or pay tuition to go here, maybe make a process for people to have to like sign up to come to the SGA meetings rather than just being able to come and sit in.
And personally, with that, I think there should be some method of approval. It's not like, oh, just email us and let us know you're coming first, and then we give you the link. There should be like, okay, are you part of an organization? What do you want to talk about? And if it's something that is worthwhile to hear, yeah, come on in. Gosh, I put that horribly. But but yeah, so but that's just my idea. So
Okay, so if we're a voice for the student body, why would we want to limit the amount of people that can speak for the student body and cut it back completely? Huh? Yeah, the Senate seats.
So my response to that would be is that right now we have so many seats, and this is I'm not saying I agree with this, as I'm just
Mhm.
playing devil advocate, but
I know that's why I asked him.
yeah, so I appreciate it. But my response would be that right now there's so many Senate seats that are open that you don't really have to campaign for anything or get to know your constituents who you're representing. So if you shorten the seats, then it forces people to have to kind of actually compete for that position and have to get to know their constituents and know the needs. Because right
Mhm.
now it seems like you could just want to be an SGA and you don't necessarily have to get to know who your constituents are. I'm not saying that's the case for anybody because I hear y'all's voice reports and I know that's not the case. But what I am saying is that that could allow that to happen.
So just competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, this Senate has been great. But there have been Senates in the past that have really struggled with that, of just not really doing anything because you don't really have to. Likewise, one thing to consider is as the university continues to grow, if our policy is that we add 2 seats anytime a new college pops up, which is actually currently an issue because the College of Nursing and Health Sciences doesn't actually exist anymore. It's going to continue to get bigger. And what we don't want is for us to have 100 senators down the line. I mean, I recognize that that's potentially more representative than a smaller Senate, but it becomes cumbersome.
I have a question.
So a few things. What was my first question? I already forgot walking up here.
I do that all the time.
Okay. So does each college have to have the same number of senators? Like, is that like a rule?
No, not. I don't think each college does right now. Actually, well, each college. So each college has 3 senators per college, and don't quote me on this,
Okay.
but but other institutions like Residence Hall, they have 2 senators per Residence Hall. We don't have them have 3 senators per Residence Hall. But I would, just to be consistent, I would recommend that each college does have each Senate, the same amount of Senate seats.
Okay, and then to follow that up, I know for nursing, we have different levels. There's levels 1 through 4, and then there's undergraduate. Having 1 or 2 senators, or even 3 right now is right now is perfect. But if we only had 1 or 2, that would not be helpful in any way, shape, or form, because it would be like 1 undergraduate, 1 person in 1 singular level, and then it's like that's all you get to hear from. So I mean, just like, are we allowed to have differing numbers?
Like add more seats, or
Just because if let's say that engineering has 1 seat available, and then is nursing allowed to have 3? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, are we allowed to have different numbers? Right.
For consistency purposes, we typically maintain them the same. That's why they're all 3. And that's also my negative feedback for the idea of phasing out seats, because it gets really choppy in my opinion. If like David graduates this year, suddenly Cass only has 2 seats, right? But then maybe College of Business continues to fill with freshmen and sophomores and the turnover is high, and it's 8 years before we have a phase out of that seat.
Right.
That makes me concerned. I would prefer to keep the same number if there was a real reason, like, maybe, but the same could be said for my economics stats class level 4 is way different than undergrad, beginning level, intermediate, whatever. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Prefer to keep them the same.
I agree with you on that.
This is just to get feedback. So come up, tell us your thoughts, even if this idea sucks. That's not a valid opinion.
I was just wondering if you had looked at the constitutions of other UT system schools and how much UT Tyler's constitution diverged and how that would address the need of our specific school instead.
So yeah, so there's several nuanced differences between our constitution and just even the governing bodies of UT Tyler and other UT systems, at least. I haven't looked a whole lot at just completely other different schools outside of the UT system, but like, for example, I know that UT Austin, their executive board cannot vote. That's where I got that idea from. I know that they keep a written record for their judicial boards. I got that idea. I mean, you've worked with UT SAC, and I'm sure you have.
Yeah, they're all very different. One interesting thing to note is that every other school, the vice president serves as speaker of the Senate. So they thought that it was like mind boggling that I preside over these meetings. So it's very different. Ours is extremely unique.
Okay. Is it in the Constitution? Is it in the Constitution about the executive board like duties?
Yes.
Can we put that the secretary has to go through the website training? Because I feel like that helps you out a lot, and I feel like every secretary should be able to. What, am I standing weird? Why can't we? Oh,
We can, but like we've talked about before, I mean, not every secretary could handle it. So I don't know that that's an appropriate requirement. I think we can absolutely offer it to them, but I don't know how I feel about requiring it. If that makes sense.
yeah.
So everyone otherwise was like, yeah, cool, that all looks good.
If y'all have like any other ideas too, like feel free. Those were just basic ones that I popped in my brain. I was like, yeah,
The
put that on
Senate
there.
composition is a big focus for me. It needs a facelift with the change in the colleges and everything anyway. So I think this is a really good opportunity for us to evaluate whether our Senate composition is effective. You know what I mean?
Have we thought about doing it like population based, like each senate or each there's so however many seats for however many students. Like, you know, Cass is a pretty big school, so they would have more senators than say something small. I don't know what is the smallest here.
We've looked at that, but because it is so different, um, you know, it's hard.
It's complicated.
I don't know that there's an easy unit to break it down to. Like, even if we said 500 students, I don't know. And my problem is, like, that could mean that some of the colleges end up with one representative. And I always think it's good for everyone to have at least one backup person. You know what I mean? Not that any of you are backups, but you know what I mean? Like, you help each
First
other
string,
out.
second string, third string.
Yeah, more than one opinion.
Adding on to that, the nursing school only accepts 120. So it would be like, we still need 3 senators for nursing because each level. So that's that. I don't know how many are in. What?
Population base is what a lot of
500?
schools in UT system do, but just here it doesn't seem to really be an effective solution.
Could add a house. I'm kidding. Let's not do that. That'd be population based.
Interesting. Any other thoughts? No, House of Representatives.
Any other ideas, thoughts, questions, concerns, statements?
Did you have any closing thoughts?
Personally, yeah, I agree with Casey that the Senate seat composition is something that at least needs to be looked at a little bit more intentionally. If I'm being biased onto what idea I like the most on there, I'm going to have to go with the judicial board, just because I think being active in general, even if it's once a month, is better than not being active until something happens. Because if we allow them to not do anything right now and then something happens, they might it'd be like being blindsided a little bit. They wouldn't be apprised of what's been going on or anything like that. And so just meeting once a month to keep them in tune with what's happening, I think would be beneficial. But that's my personal favorite.
I did want to comment on the length of elections. That was an idea that I had just because the consistency is really important. I think that the 5 days worked really well for the special election. And one thing to consider with referendums is there is a required level of responses. You have to get 6.5% of the student body to respond in order for it to be considered valid, which is a unique requirement. With Senate elections and things like that, that doesn't play a role. So I think having 5 days, which is slightly longer than we typically do, allows us to make sure that if something passes or doesn't pass, it's not impacted by the response rate. With general elections, though, I think that 3 days is pretty much sufficient. We've had them be at 2 days or 3 days in the past couple of years, and 3 days just allows for one additional email reminder and just a little bit more time for students to get a vote in. So that's kind of my 2 cents on it. If I were to recommend anything, I would say 3 days for regular elections, 5 days for special referendums.
I would agree with that.
So thanks to Chloe for recommending 5 days because that worked out really well. Anyone else have thoughts? Okay, then I'd like to entertain a motion to close discussion on this topic. Okay, motion by Ashlyn, seconded by Robert.
Thank you.
Thank you. I do my best. Okay, moving right along. I don't know about you guys, but I get really excited that we practically have had a new senator every week in the last month or so. So tonight we have Shelby Kipp here. You can go and come up. She is here to be appointed for a student body at large position. So you guys know the drill. She'll get an opportunity to introduce herself and give you guys a little bit of background. Then you guys will get a brief period to ask appropriate questions, and then we'll vote. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Shelby. I am a nursing major. I plan to start nursing in the summer of 2022. I'm in Delta Gamma. I currently hold a JCMT or director position. I am director of interfraternal activities. So I plan like family day, mom's day, and I basically just help everybody in my sorority get involved with intramurals, which was kind of not as active the past semester as I would like it to be. So I'm really excited to help everybody get back involved in that. Let's see what else. Taking patho next semester. I'm nervous. That's really it though. I live off campus, so I would just be student body at large and maybe hopefully one day be a senator for the future. I guess it wouldn't be college of nursing. What is it now?
There's medical and biomedical sciences and the community and rural health.
I don't really know which one that would put me under, but I'm excited to be here. So
awesome. Any questions for Shelby?
What made you choose UT Tyler?
The nursing program. It was practical. I live in Longview, or I lived in Longview. The freshman guarantee was a big thing for me. I did a lot of dual credit, but actually being able to come here and do my sciences and still get the freshman guarantee was a big thing for me.
What is your strongest skill?
My strongest skill would probably be planning and organization. I like to be on top of all my things and, you know, get my homework done in a reasonable time and just kind of, I like having my life together and planning. So planning.
What do you plan on doing in SGA? Like, what was the reason you wanted to join?
I care about the student body and I want their opinions and voices to be heard. I just feel like overall the Senate seats could be filled a little bit more. So I'm excited to be here for that reason. And I'm excited to represent the student body and do my best to support them and be their voice.
I was wondering what kind of link you think you can make between Delta Gamma and SGA, given that you have, or you're looking for positions in both, and what kind of relationship you're looking to foster there.
I definitely wish there was a little bit more Delta Gamma involvement in SGA and just, you know, within the sororities in general. I know ATO, they are doing very well at representation in SGA, but I do think there should be a little bit more representation from the sororities in general. So I really hope to be able to bring Delta Gamma more into SGA and get them more involved than just me and Audrey Harris.
What do you plan on doing with a nursing degree? Like, what do you plan on doing after that?
I want to be a labor and delivery nurse, and then I want to go back to school and get my midwife so I can actually be the one to deliver the babies.
Okay, one last question.
What year are you?
It's confusing. So this is my first semester. I'm a freshman, but I graduate projected in August of 2023. So I'll be a second semester sophomore next semester. No, I'll be just student body at large, but I guess you could say freshman.
Yeah, it is by classification.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so there's this website. It's called Blushing Brunette. I got it off Instagram, but their main boutique is in Georgia.
Okay. VP Steven, will you walk around? Here, I'll take the microphone. Follow Jennifer out. Sorry. You'll leave and we'll do some comments and a vote and then we'll let you back in. Okay. Thoughts, questions, comments? Ashlyn says she's nice. Is it y'all are the ones voting? Share your thoughts.
I say yes because she does represent as well, not only the student body, but a specific area like a sorority, what she was saying, a representation. So it's another piece of the student body there.
Oh my goodness.
I've known Shelby since swoop camp. Ever since that day, she's shown very great initiative to just wanting to get involved in doing more on this campus. So I think adding her to the Senate would be a fantastic addition.
So I've known Shelby a bit longer than Adon has, and she's really shown her colors with me. And she's a really great individual, and I believe that she would be a great addition to our body.
Okay, Valerie, and then Ashlyn. That's it.
Also, being in a sorority, it act like the connections that I've been able to like make. I put a face painting table out at midnight breakfast, but it also helped us promote Big Man on Campus. Is a great opportunity for DG because more DGs here.
So would she be able to, if she was admitted into the nursing school, would she be able to like, I don't know.
That was what she wanted to do, but all 3 seats are filled right now.
Yeah.
So if one were to become available, she could look.
But we
at
would
it.
need to wait till she got into nursing school, right?
No, because she's
Oh.
still a college of nursing
Okay.
student.
Okay.
Yeah. Your major just has to be nursing or health science or kines. So it doesn't matter. Okay. Then I would like to entertain a motion to vote to approve Shelby as a senator. Okay. Motion by Jacqueline, seconded by Alicia. All in favor, please raise your hand or do a thumbs up emoji. Okay, and go ahead and lower them. All opposed, raise your hand or do a different emoji. And any abstentions. Okay, Kellen, since you're closest, will you go let him know? And y'all know the drill. All right, go. Okay, you can go ahead and come back up here. We'll go ahead and swear you in. Just a second. Look at that. It even pulled it up the right size and everything. Okay, so we're going to do the oath you see here. The oath. So I'll say it and you'll repeat it back to me chunk by chunk.
Okay.
And where it says insert name, of course, you'll say your name.
Okay.
And where it says insert position, you'll say senator for the student body at large or student body at large senator. Either
Okay.
is fine. Okay, so raise your right hand. I insert name.
I, Shelby Kipp,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I shall faithfully represent
that I shall faithfully represent
the interests of the student body
the interest of the student body
of the University of Texas at Tyler.
of the University of the Texas at Tyler.
I shall dutifully uphold and preserve
I shall dutifully uphold and reserve
the Constitution and bylaws
the Constitution and bylaws
of the Student Government Association
of the Student Government Association
while ardently executing
the
office of insert position
office of Senator of Student Body at Large
for the student body
for the student body
at the University of Texas at Tyler.
of the University of Texas at Tyler.
Awesome. Congratulations, Senator Kitt. We're excited to have you. We're a mess over there. Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion to close discussion on that topic. All right, motion by VB Stavenall, seconded by Robert. Now to move on to the part of the night everyone's been waiting for. I'd like to entertain a motion to discuss nominations for executive board. Okay, motioned by VP Stavenall, seconded by Dawn. Okay, so I'm going to start by just giving you guys some information about how this works, and then we'll go from there. Everybody cool with that? Thumbs up. Sweet. Okay, so after our executive board meeting on Monday, we've determined, like I said in the group meet, that the position that will be open starting in the spring after VP Stavenall graduates will be chief of staff. Again, like I stated, that is an 8-hour-a-week position, in addition to running the rules committee, attending executive board meetings, and coming to General Assembly. Of course, that continues to be a requirement. So the way the nomination process works. Yes. Oh, okay. So the way it works with the executive board, when a position opens in the middle of a term, there's the succession process. So it's me and then the vice president and then secretary, treasurer, chief of staff, the same way we do our officer reports. So it was originally offered to Ashlyn, seeing as she's secretary, the position directly below VP. She declined. It was then offered to treasurer Limbrick. He also declined. It was then offered to Chief of Staff Smith and he accepted. So as of the next meeting, he'll be moving up to the vice president position and Chief of Staff is now open. Does that make sense? Okay. So as far as the nominations go, you're welcome to nominate yourself. You're welcome to nominate someone else. If you nominate someone else, I will ask them if they accept the nomination. We don't want to force anyone into that. And then on the 30th, our last meeting, week after Thanksgiving, everyone who has their name in the hat will have an opportunity to speak on why they would like to be chief of staff, what they think they could bring to the table, how they plan to continue some of the things that Chief of Staff Smith has been working on this semester, etc. Everybody clear on that? Thumbs up, please. Okay, that being said, I would like to open the floor for nominations. I have a microphone here. Please come to the front. Ashlyn, will you make notes of everyone that's nominated and accepts?
Great. I'd like to go ahead and nominate Robert Bennett for the chief of staff position.
And Robert, do you accept the nomination?
I do accept.
Okay. Anyone else? Hey, come up.
I'd like to nominate myself for that position.
Awesome. Clearly he accepts. Anyone else? They can't accept. Okay. Okay. So yes, if someone isn't here that you would like to nominate, you can do so. And then it will just be, I'll check with them and make sure that they accept. Anyone else?
I want to nominate. Do I say I would like to? I would like to nominate Justin Baria.
Okay. I will check with him. Anyone else? Last call. Okay. So Robert Bennett has accepted a nomination. Brennan McGinnis. And then pending approval, Justin Baria. No additional nominations? Everyone good? Thumbs up? Okay, fantastic. Then I'd like to entertain a motion to close discussion on this topic. Motion by Secretary Mattern, seconded by Senator Bennett. Okay, fantastic. Does anyone have anything to add to new business? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to advisor comments.
All right, so it seems like
Those are the numbers. When did we hit the percentage of the minimum amount? Do you know?
I think the biggest thing that I'm concerned about is the Senate composition. I've always appreciated how y'all have been structured because it ensures representation from every college. Because if nursing is one of our largest colleges as far as student populations, you don't want nursing making the decisions for everything, and vice versa. If you don't want CAS making the decisions for everybody, so the way it's balanced right now has been good. But I do agree that it is concerning that it's been every year the e-board struggles making sure it's fully filled. Um, and in the past, y'all haven't faced it this academic year, but in previous years, quorum was always a problem. It was like we're always waiting on that one person to walk in um, to start the meeting, or in some cases, one person would leave to go to the bathroom, and the meeting had to pause until that one person would come back.
That was terrible.
Very frustrating. And then, yeah, so there's pros and cons. So that is something that, depending on what y'all propose, I'm gonna watch that very closely. I think some of the questions that were brought up about other UT schools is a fantastic question, because it's good to see kind of generate some ideas, see how they do it. I'm proud because I think y'all get a lot of work done, especially in these meetings. If you look at some of the YouTube videos at other UT schools, they don't seem very fun, and they also don't seem like they get all stuff done. So I'm very proud of y'all as far as how things have been going, especially this year. I will suggest, what if we took a trip? So instead of having a Senate meeting one week, what if we went to one of their Senate meetings? Something we can do, something we talked about doing pre-COVID, and we did do several years ago. SGA went to UT Arlington and had a conversation with their. Yes, the common question that we got from that is, when will student government get their own space? Because a lot of other UT schools have their own Senate chambers. There's got to be some more commitment from student government before we can get to that level. But I think if that's something y'all want to explore for spring semester, that's something we can do. Maybe February we go to 2 schools, 1 week, another UT sister school, and 1 week, not even a UT school. We've got a lot of institutions nearby that I think, instead of reinventing the wheel, we can learn from one another. And there may be stuff they want to learn from you. And so that's something that y'all could look at doing. And I would be your bus driver for that day. So happy to do that. We're going to have a lot of fun. You probably won't like my music, but that's okay. Yeah.
Taco Bell wouldn't appreciate 35 bags.
Yeah. Fun times. Other than that,
I don't believe you were in here, but just so you know, for the diversity course, we voted to recommend that it be implemented and required for all students the first year, and then freshmen only every subsequent year. Yeah. Okay. I just have a few announcements real quick. Number 1, there's a Wellness to Wednesday event tomorrow at 11. Hold on. There's going to be tacos, so that's very exciting. What's up? Okay. Then the UT Tyler thing was wrong. Outside of the Met, sure. Street tacos tomorrow. Definitely try and show up if you can. Outside of the Met. On the patio area? Okay, great. And then, of course, next week is Thanksgiving. Don't show up. I won't be here. The light will be off. The school will be closed. Enjoy your week to spend time with your family, your friends, whatever you're planning on doing. And then there was something else I wanted to say. The finals week bags thing. Yeah. Okay. And then I've already closed Senator of the Week and he's not here. But if y'all want to do a drum roll, I'll announce it. Okay, it's Luis from the Houston campus. I don't know about y'all. Maybe if y'all want to send like some hype messages in the group me, I'm sure he would really appreciate that. I would appreciate that. So definitely let's send some messages like, oh my gosh, you got Center of the Week. How cool. But he's been doing a great job. I thought that the initiative he showed in reaching out to Dr. Bearcat of his own volition to help address the needs of some of our veteran population on the Houston campus, that's very impressive. And he did that all on his own. He didn't even ask me. He just copied me on the email and went for it. So that is really good initiative. I was very impressed by that. And I think he absolutely deserves it. So, okay. Does anyone else have announcements? Anything cool going on campus this week at on? Basketball game on Wednesday. Awesome. Okay. The Chloes will let us know. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys. If there's nothing else, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn. All right. All in favor, please say aye and raise your hand. All opposed, do an emoji or raise your hand. And any abstentions. All right. Have a great week.